Hi, it's Bob Brill. It's been a while since I've done one of these podcasts, and I decided that I really wanted to get back into doing the podcast. And interesting people with Bob Brill is going to be something that I hope you like, and also that I get back to doing some interesting interviews. But right now, I also want to do some movie reviews, and the one I wanted to talk about right now is kind of in a quandary for me. It came out earlier part of this month in early June on Netflix, and it's called Office Romance. And it's with Brett Goldstein, who also wrote it. And he is most famous for Ted Lasso. And he also was in a lot of episodes of the series Shrinking with Harrison Ford. And of course, it also stars Jennifer Lopez. And I love Brett Goldstein. He's funny, he's serious, he can play all kinds of roles. He's a Brit. And it's just fun to watch him. And he's a really good actor. And he wrote this. And I was kind of curious what the writing was like being a screenwriter myself. And Jennifer Lopez, I mean, I'm okay with Jennifer Lopez. What's not to like, you have to like Jennifer Lopez. Anytime you can look at Jennifer Lopez, it's always a bonus. But she's really come along as an actress. Um, she does some dancing, and of course, she's a great dancer. And a lot of people consider her one of the most beautiful actresses, if not women, in the world. And she certainly is. But the other thing is, she doesn't do much dancing here. They do a little salsa, in one scene and everything. Um, it's an interesting story about the protocols of office romance. And it's basically she plays the head of a small airline. He is a new attorney with her, and they don't hit it off right away. Matter of fact, the thing that throws it off right away is, and I'm going to say this cautiously, what they are calling, and they use the word in the scene, the boner scene. And basically, what happens is he walks into her office, he gets excited by her right away, and while they don't show it, you know what's happened. And then later they talk about it, and he has an erection. Of course, they're not going to show that as far as um, the they do the exposition thing. They talk about it later, and it's pretty obvious what happened, but they don't mention it until later. But you obviously know what happened. She gets upset. He is embarrassed, and that's kind of the way it was. But it kind of leads me. Before I get to that, I'll tell you that she's the head of an airline and he's a new attorney. I think I mentioned that already. But it kind of leads me to the thing I don't like about this movie. Now, I guess simply say it, the F-bombs. I'm not going to say the word here. I could, but I'm not going to. Um, the F-bombs. Um, as a screenwriter, I put them in. There are certain places where they're appropriate. And you don't mind seeing them in a crime film or a gangster movie or hearing them because you're going to hear it. It's part of the culture of what's going on. But this is not that kind of movie. This is a comedy, a romance comedy, bought off with politics and protocol. And it just didn't sit well with me. There must have been at least 100 of them. Now, there may have been 50, but there could have been 200. I'm not going to go back and count them just to watch the movie. And it was just too much. I was really, really disappointed in that. Really disappointed. And the and I'm okay with it. I enjoy a good F-bomb here and there. And like I said, in a crime movie or gangster movie, maybe an action movie, you're going to hear it. Okay, no problem. But the things I did like about this movie, there was some really original stuff. One, which I already mentioned, which I'm not going to go back over. The other, um, he's got a crazy ass sister who is in prison the whole time in the movie. And she's in prison because she chopped some guy's head off. And that's okay because it plays, while it doesn't sound like it's funny, she plays it as funny and it plays as funny. It's okay. It really is. But the thing I didn't like so much is Jennifer Lopez over the top assistant. She's pregnant, really pregnant, like any day now. And she insists on working. And that didn't kind of play for me. I'd rather see somebody else come in and her come back later. The plot is very predictable. It's a well-worn plot, but that's okay. Aristotle said there's only, well, I think it was Aristotle that said there's only like 12 plots in the history of the world or whatever it is, and everything gets recycled, and that's okay. It's a well-worn story with some new twists, which I did like as far as the twists were concerned. And it was really nice to see Edward James Olmos get back into acting. He plays her father. And I really like the fact I love Edward James Olmos, and I think he's done a lot of great things. So, it was nice to see him. But I'm not going to tell you too much more about the movie because it would be a spoiler alert. And I don't think you really want to know that. But as far as overall, yeah, I liked it okay. As entertainment value, if you just want to sit down some night, watch it on Netflix and have a good laugh, or just sit down without the kids, well, I wouldn't recommend the kids, unless they're teens. I'd give it a B. As far as overall movie content, I'll give it a C. And I like Brett Goldstein. I really do. And he, like I said earlier, he's the writer. So there you have it. We'll do more of these, and I'm looking forward to posting this on YouTube. So you can see it on YouTube. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, also on blogspot.com. And if you want to send me an email, something you like or you didn't like, send me an email at brillpro@gmail.com. That's one of my emails, brillpro@gmail.com, just like my name up here. There we go. We'll do it the other way. Can you see that? Okay. um, and Brill with a PRO, says short for Brill Productions, obviously, at Gmail. And says you can find it where, here we go, that famous saying, wherever you find your podcast. Thanks again.